Hi, welcome back. I'm Kristen. Today's workout will be part of the Stretch and Flow series. These are really meant to make your body feel good, right? So if anything feels a little too challenging, take it back a notch. This isn't meant to be a hardcore workout, but get out of it what your body needs. It might be a little harder for you than it is for me. It's a nice flow. I think you'll enjoy it, okay? So let's get started with our legs open. Pretty wide with a turnout. We're gonna start in a plie, standing nice and tall, and make sure those knees are over the center of your feet. Your palms are facing up with your arms out to the side. So from here, we're just gonna reach up, stretch to one side, go into plie. Reach up, stretch to the other side, and then a plie. So we're just reaching up and over. Make sure you have some water near you. I can see mine in my periphery. It's always good to have it around. I'm all about staying hydrated. So important. So as you're doing this, start to really just get your mind present here with your body, focusing on that really deep breath in, long exhale out. You're really deepening that breath all the way down into that pelvic floor, expanding that rib cage, filling up the lungs. We have 10 seconds left here. 5, 4, we're gonna do one more time. Each side, just really finding that stretch and then coming back into the plie. And then lowering those arms, straightening your legs, and then just walk the feet in towards one another. Okay, so now we're gonna get into a little bit of a you're still in a little bit of that turned out position, but you're angling towards me with one leg back behind you. So you can just see what my stance is. We're doing a little kind of squat, and then you're taking that back leg, circling it forward, up, back, going into a squat. So it's like a hip rotation, whoop, with what we call horse in yoga world. Hip rotation. This is actually harder if you go slower, so I'm gonna move it a little faster. It's a lot of balance. This is one, if you really struggle with balance, or you're working on it, I should say, you can hold on to a chair, a countertop. Right, so when we do this, we bend the knees at the hips. Go as deep or as shallow as far as the bending goes as you want. It doesn't have to be big. Got 5 more seconds on this side. This is just really good for that hip mobility. Let's have this be the last one. And then come back up. And then we'll switch the leg that's in the front and the leg that's at that diagonal back, slightly turned out. You notice I had my hands in front of my heart. That's just naturally where I wanted them. If you want them on your hip, you can. So you're going to that squat. Do that hip, circle, squat, hip, circle. Thinking of it almost as a lunge, right? It's kind of a weird in-between squat and lunge. And I don't care how big the movement is for you. I just want you to feel like you're getting nice movement in your hip. That mobility, it's so important to be able to freely move that hip without feeling like it's constricted, right? So what I love so much about Pilates is it really helps those joints, your limbs move freely of the rest of your body as you strengthen everything around. We've got 10 more seconds. Let's get one more in here and bring it back to the center. All right, so already feeling a little looser. So now you'll just stand with your legs pretty close together. Sometimes I have to shift once again the position, but I'm gonna say like pretty narrow right underneath those hip points. You'll bring one, we're doing some more balancing. So again, you can always hold on to a chair if you need to. You're bringing one foot up to the inside of the standing leg. So the knee faces forward. I usually hug the inside of my foot to my calf area. And then my arms are out in front of me making an 11. If you're using just one arm, just have one arm out. You're gonna open the arms and the leg out, bring it right back in. So we'll do this a few times. This is great for stability, working on balance. Now I'm gonna add on to this. So you open, you close, hands will come to a little prayer in front of your heart. You lean forward into a warrior 3, stretching your leg back. You bring it back up, separate the hands, open. So that's the sequence. Now, if going back is just not fun for you and you don't feel like this is a stretch and flow class, just continue with the tree opening and closing, the one that we did at first, okay? Keep working through the breath, trying to really spread those toes, get your big toe knuckle and your heel grounding down. The arch muscles are working, trying to get that standing leg really working that outer hip. Let's do one more of the warrior 3. And then bring it up, and then lower that down. Shake out that foot. I need to shake it out. All right, so now you'll just stand with your legs down. Before we go to your other side, I'm gonna do a little fun twist, twist, stretch with that leg. So arms are a little cactus arms. And then you'll twist to one side, twist to the other side. Now, as you start to twist back, stretch the opposite leg up, reach it with that hand. Lower it down. You twist, twist, reach. Twist, twist, reach. So you're really just alternating. It's 2 twists, and then when you start the third, you're going into that reach. I don't want your spine to bend. You're staying really long through that spine. Reach, and just keep saying twist, twist, reach in your head to keep you on that movement. You twist, twist, reach. So these are longer sets because they're not as intense as when we do some of the strength training or even the ab stuff. So go a little bit longer. We've got 10 seconds left just to get, the blood moving. 3, 2, 1, and then lower down. All right, we move to the other leg lifted for that tree warrior pose variation, sticking with the tree if that one felt like that was enough for you today. All right, so lifting that foot up and then bringing your arms in 11 right in front of you. We open out and we close. So start with this. Find that connection of your foot into the ground, really lifting the muscles in your leg. Thinking about those butt bones working towards one another to help engage your butt. Now we'll start to add the warrior 3. If you're doing that, we stretch back. Whew. Lift it up. We open up. We close. We stretch it back. We come back in. We open up and close. So really finding a deep focus here. Maybe don't watch me. Try to find something that helps you. Balance here. Whenever I'm teaching and I try to demonstrate is when I usually fall because I'm paying attention. People in my class or my privates. Good, we have 10 seconds left. Just keep that breath going. Whew. Let's do one more warrior 3 or finish those tree poses and then lower that down. Shake up that foot. One more set of that twist, twist, and reach. So the legs can just go a little bit wider. Arms out. I like to call these the cactus arms. So you twist one way, the other way, and reach. Twist, twist. I did an extra twist. Twist, twist, reach. Twist, twist, reach. You're really twisting from your ribs. Hips should be facing forward. So this is great for the mobility of that spine. Twist, twist, reach. And just keep breathing. Nice deep breath in. I'm finding I soften my knees a little bit when I land and I twist, just because I tend to hyperextend. I always bring this up. 10 more seconds, and I don't want to lock into my knee. I'm still working those muscles though. We're gonna do one more, and then lower that down. And just shake that out. Shake it out. All right, so now the legs will open wide. Gonna go wider than your hips. Hands will come to your hips for this one. So you'll hinge back and bend the knee, one knee, excuse me. So you hinge and bend the knee leaning to one side. It's like a lunge. You'll lift up, lift from your butt, from the energy from those inner thighs, and then go to the other side and lift up. I'm gonna open my legs actually a little wider. I really like to feel a stretch here in my inner thigh when I do this. So as you're doing this, I'm really always very conscious of what's happening in my pelvis. I'm keeping a long line in my spine versus rounding in the back. So you're really trying to keep the shoulders onto your back, keeping that neck long. If water was dripping down from the back of the head down to your tailbone, it would be like a really straight line. Using your abs, your butt to lift you up in between each side lunge. We've got 10 seconds left here. Feet facing forward. 4, 3. I'm going to even myself out by doing one more to the other side, bringing it all the way up, and then just stepping my feet in towards the center. Let's grab a sip of water. Again, I want to make sure we stay hydrated. And then we're going to move into a down dog position. So we'll go to one side of your mat, so the mat's behind you. So you want to stand at one front edge of your mat. I think that made sense. Put this back here. So you'll go to the front of one side of your mat, standing really tall. Let's take a deep breath in, grounding your feet down. And then exhale. You're going to round your spine down and then get yourself into down dog. So you're keeping your fingers really spread, pressing strong into all 10 knuckles, especially your pointer finger knuckle and your thumb knuckle. Thinking about rotating those upper arms to broaden your upper back, soften your knees a little bit, lengthen your back, and then stretch your legs long, okay? The legs are about inner hip width apart. You'll take one leg and you're gonna stretch it back, opening that hip up. It goes as high as it goes, right? I don't have a ton of flexibility, I can lift it okay, but it goes where it can go. Then what you'll do is you'll do a little curtsy. So you'll bend your standing knee and you'll bend your top knee and lift that standing heel. You go into a curtsy, you push the heel down, straighten both your legs. So you bend and you reach. Don't forget to press really strong into the hands, to the pointer finger knuckle and the thumb knuckle, really grounding into the ball of that standing leg. Breathing here. Good, we have 10 seconds left. Inhale and exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to lower that foot down and get into a plank position. Shoulders are on your back. You're nice and long. If you ever need to go onto your knees, go onto your knees. Remember, this is supposed to be a feel-good workout, whatever that means to you. So from here, you'll sit back towards your heels. Get a good stretch. Now, as you come forward, bring one foot to the outside of that same side hand. You bring the leg back. Sit back. Now, I can get my hand to my foot. If that's not available to you, you go where you can go, right? Maybe it's halfway up. Maybe it's just a tiny little bit up. But you're working a stretch in the hip. This is definitely a lot of effort here, for sure. And if you want to keep your knees down, you can just shift back and shift forward and then step a foot forward if that's an option, right? So just know we've got different options here. One day you might feel like doing hardcore. One day you might want to just like chill and take it easy. Let's do one more time each side. And then come back. And we're actually going to go into child's pose for a moment. So give those wrists a little rest. Taking a deep breath in. And on the exhale, walk your hands towards one side of the mat, reaching that hip in the opposite direction. Breathing. Walk your hands to the other side of the mat. That opposite hip reaches away. Get a good stretch. Breathe in. Exhale. Walk your hands back through to the center. Come onto your hands and knees. Ready for the second side. Curl your toes under. lift up into down dog. So let's first set up our down dog. Ground those knuckles down. We'll stretch that opposite leg up, opening that hip. Let's get a nice stretch, whatever that is for you. Now, we'll go into that curtsy. And we'll lift it up. There you go, curtsy. I like to inhale down, exhale. Use that exhale to help me engage through that core a little deeper. Inhaling and really broadening the upper back by rotating your upper arm, pressing strong into those knuckles. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower that down and lower your knees down. Sit back onto your heels. You're just gonna roll those shoulders, those wrists out, and then roll your shoulders out. All right, so we're actually gonna stay seated onto your heels for a kind of camel extension variation. I'm gonna stay seated to the side so you can see how I'm setting myself up, and then I'll come to the facing forward. I like to curl my toes under for this one because you're lower here and it's just a little harder for me, just being honest. I don't have the best extension. It was much better when I was a gymnast when I was little. Okay, so what we'll do is camel. So camel is normally one where you bring your hands here, tailbone tucked, and you put your hands down. We're not gonna do that full camel, so we're not warmed up. Do a bunch of things before you get there. But we can do this fun little swivel. So we'll start down on your heels. One hand's gonna stay towards that same side heel. The other hand will sweep around. You'll lift your hips up. You're gonna do a little side extension and then lower down, and we'll switch sides. Now, you might touch your thigh because putting your hand down to the heel is just not an option. The point is you're lifting from your hips and you're trying to work extension your upper back, right? You might have a lot of flexibility and you can go into bigger extension. I wish I could. If I were to do this more, I probably would be able to, right? So you're just working through, it feels really nice, working through the opening of that heart. Let's do one more each side and just breathing nicely through this. Last one, and bring it right back down. Hopefully your feet felt good in that one. It's really a good stretch actually for the feet. All right, so now let's work our way onto our stomach. Working your way down onto the stomach. Feels so good. All right, you'll take your hands, so your elbows. First of all, let's actually make sure we're centered. Open your legs as wide as the mat, and then the legs will come together if that works for your body. If it feels kind of tight in your low back or hips, I would separate the legs. I'm gonna keep my legs slightly separated. My elbows are slightly in front of my, or actually right underneath my shoulders. Pressing really strong into my forearms. While I'm here, it's really easy to sink, right? So you wanna actively get your legs pressing down, push into your arms, tuck that tailbone so you aren't sinking in your low back and you've got those low ribs pulling up. And then from here, you're just gonna do a little tiny lift and lower. If that feels tight, sometimes it's better for you to open the arms out to the side. It's not as big of an extension, so listen to your body, right? I'm gonna go a little more narrow because I need this stretch and I know I can do it. Opening that chest and lowering down. Again, opening, pressing strong into those forearms, pulling your shoulders back, lift up and lower down. Again, lift it up. Open that chest, really activating those legs. Tailbone's long, so your butt works to help you stay lifted in your core. They all work together. Pull your heart forward. Let's do one more. And then lower it down. All right, so now we're gonna do a fun little, what's it? It's like Wild Thing, right? Do you guys know Wild Thing? We're gonna do a variation of that, or do you know Wild Thing? So, you press in, you're gonna start the exact same way. The only thing that's gonna change is you'll bring one leg to the opposite side. Oh, hi, plant. Push that foot down, and then you'll lift that tarp arm up and reach back. Lower that down. Come onto your stomach. I'm gonna scoot forward so I don't hit the plant. Now we go to the other side. So that bottom arm, I'm gonna rotate it in. As I rotate, plant that top foot down, push to the bottom arm and bottom leg, lift up, and then bring it down. So maybe you just bring your leg back and stay here. If you can, lift up, pressing strong into the bottom arm and that bottom leg. Rotating that arm as you go. So taking the hand that stays down, rotating it in towards the opposite side, push, and then come back to the center, bring it back to that 11 position. So we rotate that arm, push into that bottom foot, that bottom leg, that back foot. Really, I guess both feet are pressing. Really focusing on that arm too though. Pressing into that foot that's down, that leg that's underneath also is working. You can go faster than I am if you want. I like to really take this stretch in. I love this opening of the heart. Do one more to this side, lifting up, bring it back, and then centering yourself off. And then we're actually just gonna go right onto our back. All right. Feels really good, and it's not as intense or big of a stretch as Wild Thing, but I do like it. It does feel good for the body. Okay, last little bit here, 2 more exercises. Take your arms out to a T position. Bring your legs up to tabletop. Squeeze those legs together, softening the front ribs down a little. So really what I want you to think about doing is melting your lower ribs into the mat while you still keep that tailbone grounded down. And then bring both your legs to one side. Your hip will lift, but that opposite shoulder stays down. And then press the legs up through the center. Go the other direction. Hip will lift, keep that opposite shoulder down. So you're getting a nice twist in your waist and working those obliques. Breathing through this. Nice opening of the chest, grounding those arms down. Remember those low ribs, working towards the mat. We've got one more time. Come back to the center, and then you're gonna place one foot at a time down. Separate your legs nice and wide. Rock your knees side to side. We'll do about 2 each side. And then keep your legs to one side and hold it there. Take the bottom ankle on top of the top leg, that thigh, and pull it out. So you're giving yourself a little bit of traction in that waist. As you're pulling that leg back, try to reach your abs in the opposite direction. So your legs reaching out away from you, the abs are pulling back in the opposite direction. Get a little deeper stretch. Exhale. Uncross that ankle, go to the other side. Take that ankle on top of that thigh and you want to pull it down and away, right? Down and away. And as you do that, think about lifting up through those muscles. Take a deep breath in, those ab muscles. Exhale. Uncross that. Bring yourself back through the center. Either come to your side or rock up to come up to a seated position. And let's just all end seated, nice and tall. Legs are crossed, grounding through your butt bone. I'm used to teaching classes, so I keep on saying all. You and I will sit nice and grounded. Take a deep inhale and reach all the way up to the sky. Try to find a little extra lightness up there. Exhale, bring that down through to your heart center. Carry that with you through the day, and you are all done. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.